Hey Weirdos, welcome back to The Weird Canadian. Today we have a special guest, Drake Wolf. He's an entrepreneur, AI innovator, and philanthropist. The reason I bring Drake on is because I think it would be a good opportunity to kind of go over entrepreneurship a little bit. I understand that he's a US entrepreneur. However, I do think a lot of concepts apply, so I wanted to bring him in an entrepreneurial capacity as well as AI capacity because I'm a developer, I love AI. He's played a pivotal role in designing, building, and managing highly successful companies, contributing to over 100 million in sales. His passion for social impact led him to establish Foster the Future Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to transforming the lives of foster youth aging out of the system. The foundation provides food, housing, clothing, educational opportunities, and mentorship. Drake developed Optimize AI, fully automated AI social media management platform, revolutionizing how brands and businesses scale their digital media presence. As a pioneer in AI-driven automation and with over 12 years of expertise in artificial intelligence, software development, business strategy, project management, and strategic contracting, Drake's work bridges technology, business, and philanthropy, creating scalable solutions that drive meaningful change. So yeah, hopefully give you guys some insight into this world.
All right. Take it away.
Hi guys, my name is Drake Wolf, and I am happy to be here on the Weird Canadian. Thank you for inviting me, man.
It's great to have you. Because you're involved in AI, you've got so much experience in this space. And honestly, I see it as a revolution, especially in Canada right now. We have green data centers to house these things. We have the ability to leverage AI really well here. Why don't we start in the early days of your entrepreneurship?
So I actually started in commercial construction about 12 years ago. I'm 31, and I got myself into that space, and it is a very systems structured industry. Obviously, when you're dealing with $100 million project, there are a lot of systems and structures that are in place to make sure that you are successful. And so at a very young age, I learned how to do things at scale. And that played a huge part into me eventually becoming an entrepreneur at the age of 25, where I became a business consultant, started helping other companies, scaling and growing their businesses while also continuing my passion work in commercial construction. I started to rise up the ranks really quickly, started to manage large national projects. And then that brought me to a passion and love for technology. I've always loved technology, man. And when AI came out a few years ago, I kind of became obsessed with it. And I'm not a coder by trade by any means. I'm just an entrepreneur. So I had to learn the baseline of how to code. And I did self-education on that. I didn't go to a boot camp or anything like that. And I got into that. And then just as I started to build software programs, low code and no code options came out, which gives everybody with at least a baseline knowledge of how to do this stuff the opportunity to create softwares and various other things. Right now, it's frowned upon in the industry. It's called vibe coding. A lot of professionals frown upon it, but the way I look at it is there's a lot of people out there that get the chance to dive into an industry that otherwise has been not only very difficult to get into, but almost gatekept because of the knowledge that's required to be able to get into it. So I think it's a great thing. That's how I got into this, man. It was a passion, it was a dream of mine, and I just dove in head first and started building stuff. That's the advice that I would give somebody if they wanted to start out. Just start building stuff.
I totally agree. When I started my career in software development at like 15, 16, I was coding in school. I wanted to build a video game. And then it was like, oh, this is my career path because it's something I can do. But I never found myself to be like expert coder. There's so many terms, languages, and methods, and everybody's like, oh, how do you explain this? And I'm like, I can barely explain what I do on a daily basis, but I can do it. It was always the technical part that I had problems with. So that was always my issue. But yeah, now with vibe coding, AI's giving me like whole new insight into everything. So when you were first starting your business, how did you go about like getting funding? How did you go about actually building a business?
I live in Nashville, Tennessee. It's a pretty big city, like 1.5 million people. I had worked my way up in the construction industry, so I was actually making relatively good salary at that time. I was pretty savvy with my money. So I was capable of floating myself. I never had to get a loan or borrow anything from a bank, but I probably wouldn't have had to anyways, because when I started off as an entrepreneur, I was starting off as a service-based business, which is another thing that I would highly recommend to anybody that's watching that wants to become an entrepreneur. I would say start off in the service-based business, find out what you're really good at. what you're passionate about, combine those things together, and then start selling that service, whether it's on Fiverr, whether it's just as a part-time freelancer on Upwork. Just start providing your service. And over time, you can then reinvest the profits from your company. So for me, I actually just self-funded. I bootstrapped it.
I get a partner that's supporting me while I decided to quit my job.
That's great, man. If you have somebody in your life that believes in you and it's like, hey, I really think you can make this into something, then yeah, I mean, talk it through with them. That's a great way to do it as well.
I will speak to that point of doing service-based stuff. If you're just like, want to go out there and build a simple website for somebody, you can do that with these AI tools now. And you can go to these businesses and build those services.
100%.
That's a big thing around here. Like, we want to build up small businesses. We want to drive profits towards small towns. So go out there, ask what people need, and take from that as your services too.
In the industry, we call that an AI automation agency. It's a AAA is what it's called. Liam Otley, if anybody is interested, actually has the largest group in the world for that. He's taught me a lot, so you can find him on YouTube. But AI automation agency is exactly what you just said. It's putting people in the path to be the most successful with new AI tools and structures and flows, things that they could actually manage themselves, to where I have family all over the country that live in, 10,000, 5,000 person town, and they're struggling to meet the demands of the new technological waves. Everybody's expecting to buy things on TikTok Shop and Amazon and all these things. And it's hard for mom and pop shops to keep up, especially if they're not technologically savvy. So like you just said, AI has made it so simple now. You can sell them a one-off package and teach them how to manage these processes and procedures. It's kind of like teaching your grandmother how to use Facebook. It takes a minute, but once you get them there and they understand the core knowledge, then it's easy to kind of replicate. So there's a lot of dashboards, a lot of softwares out there right now that are made for ease of use and access.
Yeah, I found a company that actually built AI agents as a personal agent. So they learn who the human is, and then they teach it at that human's pace, which is really cool. But it needs a little bit more tweaking before we can use it yet. In terms of Agentics, why don't you give me a summary of what your company does?
Yeah. So I own a multitude of companies. I have a parent company called Omnexion, which is a company that is the umbrella corporation. We have a goal of 100 software programs. And then Agentics is the agency arm. So that is assisting other business owners, entrepreneurs. I've always been a free information guy. I learned all my stuff self-taught. I did not go to college for this. So I never wanted to gatekeep any of my information. My book, The Final Business Model is what it's called. And it's coming out on Thursday. That is going to teach people in depth in a 200-page long dissertation, essentially, how to fully remove human input in business completely. And a lot of people are diving into that right now. A lot of people are going the agentic co-pilot route, which is, okay, well, I'll take a web designer, for example. A web designer is really good at what they do. And they have human traits that an AI currently doesn't really have the ability to possess. The creative side of things, mostly. So alongside of this web designer, there will be a co-pilot agent, like you said, that learns everything about them, understands how they work, understands their industry and the standard practices, as well as there's some parameters that give them the ability to think outside of the box a little bit. But what I'm building is an exact copy of a web designer. It's called Autogenerative Agentic Ecosystems. And what this is, genuinely is the next wave of business in and of itself. They would be able to learn from actual web designers, from pulling from millions and millions of data sources every second and learning and become master web designers so that I can then deploy that. There's a guy in our industry that is kind of leading the way on this, and his name is Eric Brada. Eric Brada is the creator of Agentic Mesh. He created the Agentic ecosystem. I created the Autogenerative Agentic ecosystem. And the differentiation between the two is this. My ecosystem is self-replicating. This is actually the first time I'll be talking about it publicly. I've created an agentic system that allows the agents to decide when they want to create new agents to assist them in their processes, procedures, and economies. So it's really exciting to talk about. We have builder agents that are attached to these clusters of agents. You go on N8N, for example, and you build an agent, right? It's just a single agent. In my framework, there's never a singular agent by itself. It's a cluster of somewhere between 5 and 10 agents that you chunk down every single portion of the exact thing that you need them to do. If I need them to, build out a website, like you said, I'm certainly not going to give one agent all of that. I'm going to chunk it down into 10 agents, and each agent is going to have their own micro cluster of agents around them. And what this is doing is two things. It's creating true autonomy in agentic structures, which is not available yet. And it's creating hallucination workarounds. Right now, the biggest reason why corporate structures are not integrating agentics at a mass scale is because of their hallucination ratios. They're about 95% accurate. In the economy of scale, for a $100 million company, that's $5 million. So you have to be really conscientious of the fact that they're not perfect yet. And what helps them become perfect is the structure that I've designed. And I'm really excited to share it with everybody.
I can already kind of see what that structure is. I have Cursor. Yeah, my one problem is it's one agent. As I'm having a context, it's like, okay, well, I need you to build 3 things, not one. Can you do this? And it's like, oh, I can only do it one at a time, and you have to approve each one. And it's like, having an agent that would just be like, oh, I'm best in CSS, so I'm going to go off and build this part. And I'm best in HTML, so I'm going to go off and build this part.
That's exactly what it is. Imagine a cluster, high level, right? So we have our CEO, and he is what's called, in my system, the orchestrator agent. His job is only to be 30,000 feet in the air. All he does is monitor every single structure, workflow, and agentic system underneath of him. He is the one that interfaces directly with me. In my system, his name is Aureus. Aureus and I discuss exactly what I need from him and his team. He then disperses it through my 100+ agent network. From there, if you prompt this correctly, the heads of each department decide what each department has to do in order to achieve maximum advantageous success. Being as advantageous to me as possible, they have reiterative, recursive, and replication abilities. What that looks like in a cluster is this. There are 3 major pieces outside of the head besides the sub-agents. So there's the head, then there's a QA agent. That QA agent is responsible just for that market, for that particular sector. And they make strategic analytical decisions of how to make things better and make sure there's no missed, issues or clarifications or protocols that need to be focused on just in that department. Then above the QA agent, there's something called the governance agent. Now, this agent actually sees all the other departments and sees all the other governance agents, and they watch for things that the QA agent is implementing and tells that QA agent, hey, if you implement this, then it's going to affect marketing, sales, and PR in this exact manner, right? So everything is talking. Now, the third one is the biggest one. It's kind of my sauce. It's my coin thing. Every single one of these has a builder agent. You use Cursor, right? Imagine having one of those that's auto-generative, which means you don't have to prompt it. It just gets fed a prompt from the orchestrator agent, and it is capable of designing and building anything that you desire, reiteratively and recursively. It will then build new agents to join your marketing team. Let's say if you don't have one for this specific instance, it will build software that assists you in, accomplishing your task. It will build everything for you. And then the QA agent and the governance agent will check to make sure that not only does it work for this particular sector, but that it works for the whole in part. And it's going to be life-changing for some people. I'm really excited about it.
It sounds amazing. It sounds like the pipe dream that everybody's wanted forever. Oh my God, this is so revolutionary. And you made it into this application. I can't wait to see it and read the book. I'm now thinking, there's 2 people in the US that are working on a credit card sized device that works for their own personal agent. It basically is a phone, but it's your own personal AI model. If you could integrate it into that and then have everybody have their own orchestrator, I could see mad.
Oh yeah, no man, I love this. That's what this is all about. That's why I'm so excited about it, because I can't wait to take something that I've just been blessed to stumble upon and create, to then share it with the world of creators that will just run with it And this will be the first time that I'm saying this, but this is going to be open source. And this is why. I want people to be able to plug and play this system into anything that they desire, whether it's your personal life, your business life as an entrepreneur, whether it's other people's businesses. I want hospitals to be able to integrate this in and be able to catch diseases months in advance because they have a fully orchestrated ecosystem that's designed to catch these things based on life monitoring systems. I want lawyers to be able to help get the right people off because they have these structures. I want this kind of stuff to be integrated in every single industry in the world to give us a better quality of life.
Yeah. And I definitely see it doing that. Is there anything that you struggled with as you were growing your business?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I would say I've tried my hand at probably 20 different digital industries, from Shopify to TikTok Shop to selling goods and services to digital services, and then in physical form, the same thing. And some hit and some miss, and realize that this is a long haul. And anybody that tells you you can just whip up something real quick, yeah, sure you can. You can make some money super quick, especially now. If you just want to vibe code a quick, helpful app and slap it on the internet for $19.99 a month and have a tiered subscription, yeah, you can certainly make some money. But then there's going to be issues that come along. You might have security protocol issues that you didn't think of because you were rushing things. You might have issues with iterating your software program. I think it's really important to remember that failures are to be learned from. And I'm a much better man and a much better entrepreneur now because I had those failures and those setbacks.
My fiance is on the opposite side of this because she's in healthcare as a nurse, and she's like, I can't mess up. And I'm like, yeah, but that's the only way I learn is if I mess up and I mess up and I mess up, and then I've learned from those experiences. Is there anything under the radar in terms of use cases that you know of?
Yeah. There's definitely some really cool stuff going on in the AI world right now. There is going to be some really crazy wearable technology that comes out, particularly in the fitness and health industry in the next 12 months. One of which a buddy of mine is creating. And I've asked him if I can share just a smidgen of this. And he said yes. So Apple Watches are really cool, but a lot of people know that they can be highly inaccurate when tracking specific things. For instance, steps, calorie burning. They've tried to dial it in a little bit on like selecting your type and style of workout, but it's just very difficult for a gyroscopic mechanism that only counts steps when you're moving to actually count accurately. There's a lot that goes into making a device that actually tracks your health. And hospitals in America and Canada, you know this, they see you once something has happened most of the time. Unless you choose to take your health in your own hands and see a doctor regularly and make sure you're doing your blood work and you're eating healthy and you're sleeping correctly and you're working out. Unless you're doing those things and you go to the hospital, it's not too late, but you're already at a stage where something is wrong. So they're just trying to patch the hole, not necessarily fix the root problem. So a buddy of mine is coming out with a device that is going to attach to your body in a patch form, and it's going to consistently read the interstitial fluid in your sweat and tell you literally everything about your body, from your blood sugar in that moment to whether or not you got enough rest based on the chemicals that are inside of these things. It can draw blood with nanoneedles. It's going to be wild.
I'm just thinking in terms of even those insulin monitors, you just like made those obsolete.
100%.
That's not going to make the pharmaceutical industry happy.
Exactly. And what's beautiful about it is AI is here. Nobody can stop it. When Sam Altman created OpenAI, he allowed creators like us, the millions of us that are out there that just wanted access to some Tony Stark-like stuff. Then we started creating awesome stuff. Now the world is going to see what real technological innovation looks like. And it's not gatekept by the big four. People in their backyards and in their garages are building things you couldn't even imagine, some of which I've been able to be a part of and see, some of which I've created. And it's crazy to think about what's coming next. Every industry, every department of government in every country in the world, there comes a responsibility to that, just like Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. The good guys need to be very, very adamant about building good things, because as we speak, there are bad people building bad things with AI, and we need to be able to fight that war. The scariest thing is we know that it's warfare electronically, digital warfare. But hey, there's good news for that. Sam Altman knew this before he actually released OpenAI. He's created a guild. There's a lot of people out there that are creating guilds of highly intelligent people and successful people that have access to resources to make sure that the appropriate things get pushed to the public and built that help us. Like I said, our quality of life increases and not the other way around.
I really think we're going to end up with a short era of supervillains and superheroes, to be honest with you. So I'll just give you the final minutes, because I know your time is very valuable.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on. This week, Thursday, I've got the final business model coming out. That's an interesting book. It's going to be paired with a digital download where it's like a cheat sheet, essentially. It's going to help you find out, like, where do you start with software programs? What do you need to build a system like this? That downloadable program will be available on my website. That'll come in conjunction with the book so that you can kind of follow along. I obviously can't put huge diagrams inside of a book, so having that downloadable system is good. And then me and my team are actually going to be building a full school community for it, where I can break that down for you. As soon as you purchase the book, you'll have access to that school lifetime access. So that's coming out this Thursday. It'll be on Amazon and a couple other places through my personal website, drakeatlaswolf.com, as well as goagentics.com. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I have newsletters. I post every day. That's obviously just Drake Wolf. And yeah, man, super excited to have been on this show. Thank you for having me. I've listened to a couple of your podcasts. It's really cool to hear other people what they're creating, and I appreciate you.